Ladies and gentlemen, this episode from paper shouldn't have worked as well as it did. You're giving away the end of the episode in the title, and it's starring two or three of the most unknown character actors of 1960, besides a young Ross Martin. But how this was cast and how this was put together, according to Zichari's book on Twilight Zone, some of the actors were cast from behind, only hear the voice, and like the mannerisms were close. Now, The Four of Us Are Dying is considered probably the best film noir uh, episode of the Twilight Zone. Now, the teleplay was by Rod Serling, based on a short story by George Clayton Johnson called All of Us Are Dying, which is a very interesting read if you can pick it up. This was the unlucky, or in this case, lucky 13th episode of Twilight Zone on New Year's Day 1960. What a way to start the decade. Now, the episode was based again on Johnson's All of Us Are Dying, which had not been published at the time. The story subsequently appeared in the October 61 issue of Rogue. Now, this one involves Arch Hammer, who can change his body and his voice at will. I don't know why, if it's a mutant or whatever, but that's got to be what's going on. Now, Arch Hammer is 36, according to Rod Serling, narration. He's been a salesman, a dispatcher, a truck driver, a conman, a bookie, and a part-time bartender. This is a cheap man, a nickel and dime man, with a cheapness that goes past the suit and the shirt, a cheapness of mind, a cheapness of taste, a tawdry little shine on the seat of his conscience, and a dark room squint at a world whose sunlight has never gotten true to him. But Mr. Hammer has a talent, discovered at a very early age. This much he does have. He can make his face change, he can twitch a muscle, move a jaw, concentrate on the cast of his eyes, and he can change his face. He can change it anything he wants, and this is done where the Arch is shaving in the mirror. Now, Mr. Archie Hammer, jack of all trades, has just checked in at $3.80 a night with two bags, some newspaper clippings, a Mossad talent, and a master plan to destroy some lives. Now, Arch Hammer has the clippings. He has to see a person's face to, put it together. And by the way, Jerry Goldsmith's music really brings it all together. Now, the Arch Army character is played by Harry Towns, with Ross Martin as Johnny Foster, who basically comes back and tells the torch singer he's not really dead, which he is dead in real life, and do you want to go away? Now, numerous great character actors, Don Gordon and Philip Pine, play the other big characters, with Beverly Garland, a beautiful performance as Maggie, as the beautiful lady in love with Johnny Foster. Now, his first, what he called denouement, is in a nightclub where he impersonated deceased trumpeter Johnny Foster to steal Foster's grieving girlfriend Maggie, a sultry singer. That's it's almost like you would see something John Cassavetes would do in a film noir, Lee Marvin, in the 50s and 60s in episodic television. It's a very effective 4 minutes. And when Martin's on the scene, my God, you know how good of an actor he is. We've been promoting on the channel for years. He hits it out of the park in a way that only Ross Martin could. Now, next, Hammer's impersonating murder gangster Virgil Sterig. Hammer pays a visit to Mr. Purnell to extort money, and Purnell is the man who had Sterig killed. Purnell sends his men after Hammer. Now, trying to escape down an alley, Hammer sees a poster, a boxer, Annie Marshak, and changes his face to the fighters. And the makeup on the Marshak character is quite effective. He looks like somebody who's taken a lot of blows to the head, especially to Jake LaMotta, eyebrows. Now, Purnell's men are fooled. Thinking he's in the clear, he runs into Marshak's father at a street newsstand, who mistakes him for the son who broke his mother's heart and did dirt to a sweet, decent little girl who would have cut off an arm for him. As Mr. Marshak reels off the reason why he hates Andy and his punk behavior, Hammer pushes the old man out of the way and returns to the hotel room. See why this is kind of weird. A detective also shows up to pick him up for questioning. Together they leave for police station. As he enters the hotel's revolving door, very effective scene. Hammer again assumes the boxer's appearance. The detective rushes back to the building to find Hammer. Now, Marshak's father is standing on the street with a gun and hammer. The con man tries to demonstrate that he's not who the old man thinks he is, but he cannot concentrate because literally a gun is pulled on him. and he cannot change his face. When Mr. Marshak shoots him, as Hammer lies dying, his face shifts from one person to another until he dies wearing his own face. Now, this is a very effective scene because although it was a rough cut, it was, like I said, it was well put together. You pretty well believe. Now, there's been some argument over the years: is this person's a mutant, or is he making people see what they want to see? Well, that's left open ended. I think he's a mutant, but that's just me. Closing narration went like this: he was Arch Hammer, cheap little man who just checked in. He was Johnny Foster, who played the trumpet and was loved beyond words. He was Virgil Sterig, with money in his pocket. He was Andy Marshak, who got some of his agony back on the sidewalk in front of a cheap hotel. Hammer, Foster, Sterig, Marshak, and all four of them were dying. And again, with the headline. Now, according to production, after the first half dozen stories had been written for the show, part of the hustle was getting an agent. Through those years, I found several who would let me use their names, though few cared to sign a contract with me. One of these men, Jay Richards, at the time, head of television production, this is what Clayton had said, department of the famous artist agency, long since absorbed by IFA, International Famous Agency, and since embedded in ICM, International Creative Management, which represents me now in television and movies, agreed to read something. I showed Jay All of Us Are Dying. After reading it, he crossed out the title with a ballpoint pen and wrote in Rubberface. Then he sent it to Rod Serling, who had a new series that season called The Twilight Zone. Now, there was some rejigging of the characters, but why this works, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a stage version by Four Letter Entertainment in 2005 under the same name. Because you got to imagine the four characters that are playing Archie Hammer himself and his lookalikes, as we say, it has to be people that have the same mental reason. So each one is playing their individual personalities, actors, and very method because they're playing it because the Ross Martin person put it all together. But here's the question as well: when he impersonated the people, did he take over the brain patterns of that person or memory and experiences? It's again very open ended. This would be probably a better episode. Would be an hour because you can kind of look into that. Maybe talk to Archie Hammer's brother or mother or whatever, because someone must have noticed before that he could do this. So that's what I'm saying. It comes across as like a really, really good pulp fiction short story. But for me, I consider this one of the most underrated episodes of the series. Now, according to a lot of people, this wasn't put in first run syndication because a lot of people felt that cutting anything of this would take away from the aspect of the episode. So I don't think it would work. Now, according to IMDb, though Hammer, Foster, Sterig, and Marshak had been planned to be performed by a solo actor using different makeup, the production crew timed the planned scene and noted this time wearing makeup would exceed that of him in front of the camera. So again, the four actors were used. Now, there was no first incidents again. Where Philip Pine's character's identity is usurped. The second being the 100 Days of the Dragon. Now, no closing narration to this, of course. It didn't have in the series title in the closing narration. We really don't know why. But if you see this in syndication, which City TV has been showing, that's the best thing they did in years. Yeah, watch the episode. This episode was, I think, it was shown over the weekend. I think it was Sunday or Monday morning, early morning, because I've been taping off what was BCTV, which is the Vancouver City. It brings back a lot of memories because I saw Ross Martin in the science fiction 1 hour version of Twilight Zone where there were ghosts, dead ship, But my God, Ross Martin in this one, what a tremendous performance! And Beverly Garland, she was kind of getting turned on by Ross Martin. Who wouldn't? He's a very handsome man. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our season 1 reviews of Twilight Zone, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Thank you for the support so far. I guess we've had over 4,000 hits for the first 4. So let me know your favorite Twilight Zone episodes, and we might do something in the short term. But to me, this is just a tremendous. It's a 4 cup of coffee, if you know what I'm saying. If you watch it, you got to go back and see exactly where it is. But when he said Mr. Pennell, give me your money, Mr. Pennell, tremendous. Slimy. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.